Life is full of what-ifs. Some awesome, like what if AI could fold your laundry? And some, well, less awesome, like what if you have unexpected medical costs? United Healthcare can help get you covered with Health Protector Guard fixed indemnity insurance plans. They supplement your primary plan to help you manage out-of-pocket costs. No deductibles, no enrollment periods, and especially no more what-ifs. Visit uh1.com to find the Health Protector Guard plan for you.
Millions of people have lost weight with personalized plans from Noom. Like Evan, who can't stand salads and still lost 50 pounds.
Salads generally for most people are the easy button, right? For me, that wasn't an option. I never really was a salad guy. That's just not who I am. But Noom worked for me.
Get your personalized plan today at Noom.com. Real Noom user compensated to provide their story. In 4 weeks, the typical Noom user can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. Individual results may vary.
Many of us have those stubborn pounds that seem impossible to lose, no matter how good we eat or how hard we work out. My solution is PlushCare. PlushCare is a leading telehealth provider with doctors who are there for you day and night to partner with you in your weight loss journey. They can prescribe FDA-approved weight loss medications like Wegovy and Zepbound for those who qualify. Plus, they accept most insurance plans. To get started, visit plushcare.com/weightloss. That's plushcare.com/weightloss.
Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Napoleonic Wars podcast, where today I am being a little bit mean. As some of you may be familiar, there is an exclusive kind of cupboard, a wardrobe within which you can enter an entirely new Napoleonic Wars pod universe, in which you get bonus episodes. And this is a teaser of one such episode. Completely understand if at this point you decide that you don't want to listen to the rest of this one in disgust and a huff at me basically dangling a very appetizing looking morsel of podcasting fun in front of you. But I sat down the other day with Rachel Stark in a long-running series on the Marshalls. We've done quite a number of these by now, and if you're not subscribed over on Patreon or on Spotify to the exclusive content, which costs you just £1 a month, then you'll be missing some of these. So here's a little flavour of what I've been talking about with Rachel. In this case, we were discussing Marshal Ney, the bravest of the brave. And if you would like the full episode, head over to patreon.com/Napoleonic Wars pod in order to subscribe. Here's Rachel doing what she does best. Hello and welcome back to the Napoleonic Wars pod. It feels like I've been away for quite a while, but talk about coming back with a bang. I've got Rachel Stark back in the house, and you know what that means. We have more Marshall Mayhem incoming. And today we are doing the bravest of the brave. The guy who certainly had balls, but maybe had some brains. I don't know. I'm a bit ambivalent about Ney's brain level, because there are moments when he does show brains and there are moments when he really doesn't. So sort of a bit Muir-esque in places, but not always. That's my uninformed assessment that I'm going to go with, though fortunately Rachel is nodding along, at least politely, as if to say, you might be an imbecile, Zach, but I'm not going to offend you on your own show. Rachel, great to see you again. How are you doing? How would you kind of subtitle this one?
Do you know, I was thinking of a soundbite for this earlier on, you know, when we said, you don't know, decent but dim, and obviously we had a bit of a joke with Mira. Ney is really difficult to categorise, I feel, because he does go from being, you know, a living legend almost in Russia, and performing really, really well in the early days of the Empire, but he's a guy who sort of swings about a bit. He's a very mercurial character, and there are times where he performs brilliantly, and there are times where he is erratic and incredibly quarrelsome and really, really difficult. So he's a bit like Napoleon in the sense that he has real peaks and troughs in his career. So I've not thought of a good soundbite for him yet. We'll maybe get one as we go through the show.
I'm sure we will, and no doubt people will beseech me to stick it on a mug. I am working on merch, people, but it's complicated and irritating. But Murat, all balls and no brains, is absolutely going to have to go on the side of a mug at some point in time. Stay posted. Stay posted. I'll keep you posted. Something like that. Keep an eye out. Words will come out of my mouth at some point when the time arrives. So Ney, in some respects, his own worst enemy, particularly late in his life when it comes to his death. Obviously, we'll get there in due course. Nobody can question his bravery. I would always have said nobody could question his loyalty either. But actually, as those words are coming out of my mouth, I'm kind of thinking 18, 14 to 15. He sort of jumps one way and then the other. And again, that's all a bit complicated. We'll get to that in due course. Let's do the predictable thing. No, before we do the predictable thing, what would you say is the common perception of Nate? Because for me, it's dominated by Bravest of the Brave. That's how everybody thinks of him. That's what he's famous for. And yet Bravest of the Brave is in reality sort of a bit of a, I don't know if poison chalice is quite the right word for it, but he gets that because of fundamentally a cock up, right? He gets cut off and he fights his way out, brave as hell. But, it's one of those situations where, well, A, you shouldn't really have got cut off, should you? And then B, sure, he fought his way out, but not with many men left. So he's a complex one for me, but I do have this impetuous thing kind of overriding everything. And no doubt Geraint will be coming in and talking about those moments in 1811 when Ney manages to turn around and give Wellington a bit of a bloody nose. So there you go, Geraint, I've name checked you. So apologies for the waffle there, but that's just sort of my confused picture of Ney. And I'm not sure that actually reading the Chandler chapter helped too much in sort of shifting that perception. What's your take? You're the expert here, not me.
Well, not expert, enthusiast. But Ney is perceived as, very in the public imagination. From my experience, he's perceived as the heroic one. I remember when I started doing the Marshall Monday features on my Twitter account, sometimes it was threads and sometimes it was polls, and I asked people, even knowing what you do now, knowing the full Napoleonic epic, knowing how it ended, knowing what happened, who is the Marshal you'd most want to follow into battle? And Ney walked it by a country mile. A lot of people said, well, my head says I should follow Davout. Heart says Ney. I mean, Lang got a few votes, a couple of votes pitched for Murat, but Ney walked it by a country mile. And I think that kind of marries up with what you see in his career.
Life is full of what-ifs. Some awesome, like what if AI could fold your laundry? And some, well, less awesome, like what if you have unexpected medical costs? United Healthcare can help get you covered with Health Protector Guard fixed indemnity insurance plans. They supplement your primary plan to help you manage out-of-pocket costs. No deductibles, no enrollment periods, and especially no more what-ifs. Visit uh1.com to find the Health Protector Guard plan for you.
Hiring for your small business? If you're not looking for professionals on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. That's like looking for your car keys in a fish tank. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't even visit other leading job sites. So start looking in the right place. With LinkedIn, you can hire professionals like a professional. Post your free job on linkedin.com/spoken today.
Didn't always make the decisions that seemed to be the most logical. Didn't always behave the way he should have behaved. But if you wanted a guy who could inspire men, who could instill them with the conviction that they could win, who could lead by example, and who could, really just set a rocket up people and get them to give their all, Michel Ney was the man.
I wonder how much of popular perception is also influenced by the fact that you've got the 1970 Sergei Bondarchuk Waterloo, right, which is very much sort of Ney, the hero figure, the guy who struggles a bit in terms of the loyalties, endlessly brave. You know, the guy who knows how to inspire people. Do you think that is part of what shapes it, or actually is the Ney legend? Because this is the other thing that strikes me, that if you were to try and Hollywoodify Ney, you'd just come out with Ney in real life. That's very much my read of it. You can't
Yeah.
really amplify this guy.
No. Ney's life, that if you try to summarize Ney's life, it essentially is like one long drama. It's full of, highs and lows, and just when you think he's given everything and he's going to fail and all's going to be lost in Russia, he comes back out swinging again. And it really is. I mean, I know we've in the Twitter community, we've all discussed a few times, how many Hollywood movies could we make out of the Napoleonic era? There could be plenty, and obviously very topical at the moment. I'm interested to see. I noticed Ney is one of the few named marshals in the new Napoleonic film, so I'm quite interested to see how they're going to portray him then. But I mean, yeah, Ney's story needs no dramatizing. It's got plenty drama.
Okay, so let's actually dig into the nuts and bolts rather than me waffle on about sort of memory and popular perception, even though it does interest me. He's it's an exaggeration to say he's born into a military family. I wonder if that perhaps is kind of overstating it a bit. But he comes from, again, military pedigree is probably overstating it as well, but he's son of a veteran, put it that way, right?
His father, Pierre Ney, is a veteran of the 7 Years' War. And Ney was born in Saarlouis, which was a border town between the French and German borders, which would come to be particularly relevant towards the end of his life. But he therefore grew up bilingual. The family spoke German at home and he learned French at school. He was, as I say, Pierre Ney was a veteran of the 7 Years' War. So it's not unlikely that Ney grew up hearing stories of battles and soldiering life and comradeship and so on. He was one of 4 children. His eldest brother was called Jean, then Michel. Ney was the second child. The third, Jacques, died very young, and they had a sister, Marguerite. And Pierre Ney had come out of the 7 Years' War and had set himself up as a cooper, a barrel cooper, and was successful enough that he could afford to give his children a decent education, and he had careers in mind for them.
Folks, if you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button so that you can find your way back. If you're a fan of the period, you can immerse yourself in a Napoleonic Wars pod universe full of exclusive bonus episodes, a Discord server to chat with the wider Napoleonic enthusiast community, plus socials, the chance to request episodes, and even a course on the period, to say nothing of the fact that you can actually hear the long version of the teaser that you've just heard. Right there. Head over to patreon.com/the Napoleonic Wars pod. Link is in the description to find out more. Much love to all my Patreon supporters. Bear in mind that if you want to enjoy a specific perk from a tier, like joining the monthly online course that I run, but don't want some of the other perks, which I completely understand, you can now edit your pledge to secure individual perks rather than a whole package. Drop me a message via Patreon or Twitter for more details. And also bear in mind that we are now on YouTube in a fledgling sort of way, but there are some very exciting developments afoot that are going to hopefully revolutionize the way in which this show operates. We've done live streams. There's also going to be some reaction content, me blowing apart really irritating misconceptions and bad takes on the period, but also exclusive battlefield footage, including drone footage. So it is a really exciting time. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube with notifications turned on in order to find out more and not miss anything. Shout outs to my mentioned in Dispatches patrons: Rob Griffith, Brendan Teeling, Beatrice de Graaf, Lynn Dawson, Lucy Tatner, Jim Deary, Josh Keeney, Colin Fieldhouse, Stephen Colson, Jim Getz, Jeff Maple, Ed Koss, Indiana Fats, Hugh Brennan, Alistair Campbell-Grieve, Andy Meeking, Mark Anscombe, Bruins Girl, Mark Trowbridge, Miles Reedy, Nick Overland, Graham Goodwin, Rachel Stark, Chris Pramus, Anthony Gumbau, Andrew Wright, Graham Spicer, Keys Bishop, Anonymous American, Martin Pisani, Sam Gurman, Marcus Cribb, Robin Brasher, Hospitaller, James Fluick, Natasha Hobday, Roger O'Donnell, Rod Schwager, Chris Kimball, Gary Dennis, Ted Andrews, David Malinsky, Stephen Gillen, Richard Anderson, Arthur Forgy, Reto the Sci-Fi Fan, Adam Green, Timothy Day, Samuel Moore, Stephen Flanagan, and Wyatt Pollock. The Admirals, David Priest, Rob Coughlin, Graham Callister, Mark Duckers, Michael Guest, John Haynes, Stephen Ashworth, Kate Woolcombe, and Steve Carter. The Marshals, Roy Muir, Ger Brown, Matt Bone, Colin Zimmerman, Ryan Diamond, and Sean Sullivan. The Emperors, there are 4 of them now, not just 3. Graham Swidenbank, JC Kaiser, Bob Burnham, and Adam Green. And finally, but by no means least, the Legion de Scholars, Dan Hazelwood, David Maxwell, Liam Telfer, and Todd and Laird Campbell. I'll be back very soon, but until then, I'm Zach White. This has been the Napoleonic Wars Pod. Take care of yourselves, my friends. Stay well, stay safe, and as always, thank you for listening.
The secret to summer-ready skin is here. Osea's #1 best-selling Undaria Algae Body Oil, clinically proven to instantly improve skin elasticity and transform dry skin to silky, soft, and unbelievably glowing. Its signature scent of freshly squeezed grapefruit, cypress, and mango mandarin transports you to sun-kissed summer days. Get healthy, glowing skin for summer with clean, vegan skincare from Osea. Get 10% off your first order site-wide with code GLOW at OseaMalibu.com.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
I'm Ina Garten. Welcome to Be My Guest, the podcast. One of the best gifts you can give friends is spending time together. But what's even better than that? Cooking with them. On Be My Guest, the podcast, new friends and old stop by my barn for some conversation and great cooking. We talk about food, life, and everything in between. Listen to Be My Guest, the podcast with me, Ina Garten, and join us wherever you get your podcasts.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.